back and do some cards. But as soon as you get a card, look at that card, put them face down, all right, and try to decide how you would act in this situation. If you have to, physicalize it out yourself, okay? In about 5 minutes, this room's going to be full of people jumping around and moving around and so on and so forth. Don't be shy, don't be embarrassed, the doors are closed, no one will see you, okay? But basically, yeah, except for the camera, but that's for me. Okay? But basically, what I want you to do is, as you pick these cards, figure out how you're going to do it, and then we're going to have people come up, use their puppet up here. We have some props as well. If you pick something from prop, if it's not in there, we will substitute. Well, you go back behind there and do that. Don't let them see you, okay? Let me guess. Sadness. Okay, good. All right. We're going to do it twice. The first time you're going to do it, what I would like to hear from the audience here is we're going to direct in a non-confrontational way, and how we direct is we tell them what we saw. Okay? I saw the character do this. I saw the character do that. If the character does something you didn't intend it to do, okay? If they saw something you didn't put in there, you know not to do that, okay? And then basically, the next time you do it again, and we're going to see if we can determine, it's sort of like charades, okay, what it is that she's doing, okay? You can get back there and get started. We're dealing with a physical type, we're dealing with a profession, okay? And then we're going to deal with an emotion, all right? Go ahead. You can add a sound effect if you want. Would you like to hum something? I'll help. What is she? She's a waltzer or dancer, right? Okay. And now what she expresses at the end? Happiness. There you go. Very good. It was a ballet dancer, physical type, and emotion was happy. Very good. Very good. All right. By the way, if you do draw skater, another way to do a skater is just to make the character do this. When you're skating, your legs aren't moving at all. Okay? Anybody else? Who's next? Yes, this lady back here. We have. Oh, okay, good.
Can you say what it is?
No.
I mean, like a...
No, I'd rather see it just with movement, because that'll tip it off. Okay, here we go. There we go. Ta-da! Very good, very good. Okay, now one thing I'd like to see as we do this a little further, I'd like to see your characters make some sort of entrance. One of the worst things in the world is to have a puppet just pop up out of the floor like this, you know. I don't know anybody who comes into a room by popping up out of the floor. That's why we have wings on stages, so you can come around, bring your character in, you know, like a character would walk into a room. Don't pop anybody up out of the floor unless they're like Rumpelstiltskin, okay? All right, let's see, who's next? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. If you want to use a prop or anything like that, you're welcome. A helping hand. Move over a little bit more to the center of the stage because they can't see you on this end.
Shy.
Bad news, yeah. Disappointment was that one. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Very good. All right, let's give her a round of applause. Thank you. There you go. You got that very well. You can hang on to those for now. All right, who's next? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Who's next? Yes, come on up. Disappointment by itself is something that in a story, I got him, that in a story might be conveyed, and it could be, that was a very strong moment right there. And stories don't have to be light and happy all the time. In fact, something like that could add a great deal of contrast. Okay? All right, great. Here we go.
Shy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what's the character doing?
Waving.
Waving, yes. A shy wave. I would try it one more time, and this time I'd like to see a little bit more hesitation in coming out. Come out, and then you're scared, and go back. Quick, go quick. Go back. Oop. Okay. The wave takes a lot out of you, and now get off the stage quick, because that was tough. Very good. Very good. Okay. Another thing you can use when you work with a stage, the advantage of working with a stage is to use right and left. A character can come out over here, and come out over there, and come out over here, and you can, if you want, you can do this. You could use this as a device to play for an hour and a half. You know, where is he? He's over here. I'm looking over here, and I don't see him, and he comes out over here. Oh, there he is, over there. You can do that forever if you want to, because they never get tired of playing that game. They love that. Oh, he's over here. He's over here. Oh, he's coming out of the top. He's coming out of the side. You know. So that's another way to go. All right, who else is next? Anybody? Oh, come on, come on. One more brave soul. Here we go. Okay. All right. I want to say, by the way, this is one of the best group of beginning puppeteers I've had. I've had some people attempt these and just feel like, oh, my hand, I can't do this. You know, I haven't heard anybody say I can't yet, and I think that's a very good sign. All right. Oh.
Spoken in here.
You know, with anybody with a sense of comedy timing like that, I'm not going to be disappointed. Okay? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to be your victim over here. Okay? Okay. Just so you give you something to.
Thank you.
All right. So you won't feel so. I'm just going to sit right here. Okay. Ooh. You okay?
Baby, crawling.
Okay. What's this character doing? Very good. She's teasing. That's right. Can anybody tell me what the... Now, it wasn't a character, but it was a movement, and this is a very difficult movement. It was actually creeping. The difference between creeping and crawling, believe it or not, there is a difference, is crawling is usually done side view, and it's done like this, and you can see the legs, get a little movement out of the legs, where creeping is really sort of a sideways movement. So, and there are thousands of ambulatory ways of getting around, slithering, skipping, jumping. You know, there's a million ways that a character can move from one point to another. You're not limited to a walk, a hop, or popping up out of the floor. I'm gonna rapid fire off some ideas, okay? These are gonna come at like 90 miles an hour, all right? So if you don't catch any of them, good, because that means nobody will do the same thing the same way, okay? In this book, I have the breakdown, as you saw, of the types of puppets, rod puppets, hand puppets, glove puppets, so on. I have a hand puppet pattern. You may notice that these are from different places, okay? These sources. The reason that I have all these sources is because you have an option open to you that you're not aware of. There is actually a national organization for puppeteers called the Puppeteers of America. Most of the source material that I got from for this book were from friends of mine, people that I met from all over the country who are puppeteers, okay? And they express the ideas better than anybody else could, and that's why I included them in this booklet, all right? This is just a tiny example of the tons of information you can garner from being a member of Puppeteers of America. I have included up front some memberships Okay? You can get a library membership or you can get an individual membership. Now, this is not an organization just for professional performers. This is an organization for librarians, therapists, teachers. They have a wonderful magazine that comes out quarterly called the Puppetry Journal. There's a couple of issues back here that I've brought, and there's some of these survey things that you can fill out and you can become a member. Puppetry Journal, every other couple of months, every 3 months or so comes out. They highlight things that are going along, not just in this country, but internationally. They talk about craft ideas, performances, puppetry in print, articles and magazine articles that you can look up that will tell you more about your craft. It talks about new books, and some of the books that come out through Puppeteers of America are only available to members, okay? Because it is not a wide field in this country, and so there are a lot of these what they call vanity press publications that publish some of the best puppetry books, and you can only get them through the Puppetry store. They also have consultants. If you have a question about music, if you have a question about making a stage, you can write to these consultants and they will send you information or they will talk to you over the phone and will hold your hand and guide you step by step. But the best thing of all is the Puppetry Conventions. If you've ever been to a convention for librarians or a convention for teachers, take that and just make everybody there crazy and you'll get an idea of what... You spend 7 days sometimes watching performances. I just attended one in San Francisco. We watched 51 separate puppet performances. At the end of the week, I never wanted to see a puppet again, but I learned more, and you learn more in that week. You have workshop classes. You eat lunch with professionals. I sat down and I had lunch with Carol Spinney, who's Big Bird, and I had a long conversation with him. We talked about whether or not they get emotionally attached to the characters. He told me a great story. He said that actually he didn't think he was emotionally attached to Big Bird until they went to some event and there was an junior ROTC there playing, and they all came out with a yellow feather in their cap. And when they went back, they found that these kids had basically torn handfuls of Big Bird out to put in their cap. And he says at that point he went outside and he put his head between his knees and he realized at that moment he was really attached to the character. It took him 25 minutes of backpedaling and stuffing, you know, things in and Velcro to try and get him back together so he could make this live performance. But this kind of thing happens, and you wouldn't know about it unless you talk to puppeteers. So if this is something that you'd even think might help your profession, it is really worth getting involved in, and that's why I included these things out front so you can look at them afterwards. Okay? I'm also going to touch on one of the greatest tools, one of the least used tools known to us, and that is the overhead projector. Everybody has one and nobody knows what to do with it. Okay? The overhead projector is one of the single best tools that you can have as a storyteller, because the easiest way to make a puppet is to get a neat picture and trace it and Xerox it and put it on a piece of oak tag and tell your story and move the character right across the front. I'm going to show you something to give you an idea. This is a shadow puppet. Now, none of my puppets are really designed for the overhead projector because I don't actually have one. But to give you an idea, this is just a jointed puppet. It's made of those brads, those paper clip brads, and some tape. And the object of this is really movement, not to be pretty. And okay, something simple like that is, and that's just cut out of black cardboard. You can also do colored shadow puppets by using acetate gels. There's a character just sitting in his rocking chair. Sometimes when I get on a roll, what I can do is I can tell a story with a pair of scissors and sit there and cut out paper figures, put them on, and if you want a butterfly to fly. If you want the big bad wolf to blow down the house of straw, that's how to do it. Just put that house of straw right there. Just have the little pig move, you know, raffia. They have that raffia you can sew. It just moves it around, makes a house. The big bad wolf comes along. and there it goes. Okay? Acetate gels are available through theatrical companies as well as, you can get them in the hobby, the supply stores. The difference between these and the kind you get in the supply stores is that these are made to be used for theatrical productions, and they are more resistant to heat than the standard acetate gels, and also because they come in thousands of colors. And if you really want to have fun, call up a theatrical supplier and ask them for a Roscoe swatch book. Roscoe is the name of the company that makes this, or one of the companies, and they will send you this wonderful little swatch book that has just thousands of colors. And when I was first starting out, I just kept ordering Roscoe swatch books, cut them up, and I was making... The problem was is they wouldn't come any bigger, they only... So then you have to actually order the gels. But foam is your friend. This is a mask just made of strips of foam rubber. Okay? It's colored with acrylics. Okay? And what you do is you water the acrylics down and you actually dye the foam rubber. You do it in stages. You do one color, then another color. This is just snipped little pieces that have been cut out, glued together with a hot glue gun. And it's extremely effective, and it can be worn by any age because it's got some stretch to it. I also have a production where I do storytelling, and I have children play wild things. Okay? Yeah. You just thin rubber that you can get at the fabric store. If you really get into it, you can get industrial lots from upholstery places. Will sell huge amounts of... you can take a pair of scissors or an electric carving knife and just carve away everything that isn't a nose, and basically that's how that's done. You can do wonders with the simple, lowly styrofoam ball and a plastic hair curler. Plastic hair curlers, they sell these in the thrift stores by the gross. They sell them. What you want to do is you want to find the one that'll fit your finger and buy a lot of that color, because they're generally color coordinated, and they have like the yellow ones and the purple ones seem to be the best fits. And you can take a simple styrofoam ball and cover it with acrylic gesso. You can paint it. They're not very dent resistant. They do get dented if you hit them. Or you can take starch, take a piece of felt and starch the felt, stretch it over the ball, put pins in it. Don't use the kind of pins that rust, because you'll get rust spots. And when it's done, you can just sew up the back, and you'll have a felt puppet with a styrofoam head. Felt does not last very long. Felt gets thin. So I recommend using velour or anything along those lines, but I wouldn't use much in the way of felt. But if you have to make a cast of characters, like 50 characters, like in 2 weeks, you're doing War and Peace for the kids, you got to do... This is the quickest way to do it, okay? Just do it with simple styrofoam balls, and you can make a character as simple as a rabbit. Also, what I would like to stress, the reason why I don't like store-bought puppets is you won't find anything like this in a store. Okay? You need to, if you want to really capture a child's imagination, a puppet that looks like a child themselves might have made it is probably the most effective tool, because they don't look finished, and they're going to run right home and try and make one just like it. So this is probably one of the, and also the movement on the hair is just fabulous. I mean, there's nothing more, right? We also can do it is, and we have this the illustration for this in your guide, what we call bead puppets. This is a bead puppet. So this is a bead puppet. This is a clock figure. This is a clock figure from a show we do, and it's just a very simple character, and it's just made out of junk. There's kitchen junk on here. There's stuff in here, gears spinning. This is a pizza cutter. I throw nothing away, okay? And they find their way onto puppets eventually. So this is just a simple bead puppet that can be made. All it is it's a wooden bead and one of those cones, and you can use a styrofoam ball. You can use, basically any junk that you pile on it, glue it on, spray it one color, give it another color maybe as contrast, you know, to give it a kind of a patina, or you can, you know, you can sit and paint them all different colors, whatever color you want. But these are extremely effective. You just bring them out from behind. A king one day, or a queen one day, was walking, just like so, right? The emperor's new clothes, right there, okay? So there's another. Okay, another idea is real minimalist puppetry. Hi. What are you looking at? Ugh. Okay, this is, I use this sometimes to change scenery. This is a stagehand. He's a stagehand. He comes out, he changes the scenery. Okay, all right? And that's another way to keep yourself amused, too, when you do a show, okay? I can't stress that enough. If you can't enjoy your own programs, they're not going to enjoy. Any others? Okay, if you're shy and you want to come and ask me something quietly, privately, we will now, for those of you, break this up, and you can come and talk to me privately. There are puppetry journals there. There are memberships, and I want to show you something, too. Anybody who signs up for membership for Puppeteers of America, I have a shiny trinket for you. If you want to sign up and become a member, I have a sticker right here that says, Member, Puppeteers of America. Okay? So I promised them that I would do that. I would give these out to people who want to sign up today, okay? So anyway, there's that information. There's some pictures of puppets from around the world. There's about 39 countries represented in that book. I will need the hand puppets back. They are available if you want to buy them for $1. You're welcome to. Your cards, I'll need those back, but you can take your information sheets, and thank you for having us out. I really appreciate it. Bye-bye, everybody.